What we're going to be talking about today is Fidesic. It's our full AP service suite, and what that means is basically we help automate all of the things that relate to accounts payable, and we do it in a way that actually works with MoverSuite's branch setup coding system. And I've got a demo box set up specifically connected to MoverSuite, so we'll definitely get into a bit of the details on the things that are unique in our system that make it work well with the MoverSuite setup. Upwards of 99% of these invoices are zero touch. What I mean by that is you don't need to adjust them at all. We can still have people review them, make sure that everything looks good, but in 99% of those cases, in real world use cases, you're not going to have to adjust anything. Our capture is that good at matching things. I already talked about real-time learning in that if you do have to make adjustments, hopefully that'll be the last time you ever have to do it, because the next time through our system is going to get smarter and learn that. No templates is another important differentiator that I've mentioned. You don't have to teach the system anything. Just make sure your invoices are good and you're all set. And finally, our capture itself is smart enough to recognize your branches that you have set up. So any branch IDs that you have set up in MoverSuite, that does feed into our OCR, and our OCR can try to read that off of invoices to actually apply coding. What that means in a real world perspective is if we can identify what branch a particular invoice is from, we're going to dynamically switch out those first two segments of the GL for you to adjust it based on what branch it's actually from. So if you have a vendor that submits to 10 different branches, that's fine. We're not just going to apply some default code and call it a day. We're going to dynamically code those invoices based on what branch it actually represents. I've logged in as an accounts payable type user into my account. So I've got my test account that's specifically built for MoverSuite that I'm logged into. Every user within our system is going to have slightly different access. So I'm logged in as a pretty high level user. As you see, I have lots of options over here. For your standard, I just need to approve invoices type users. Those users are just going to log in and they're going to see their approvals queue and not much else. It's totally up to you. We can adjust users on a granular level to determine what they have access to. But for a high level user, you'll be able to keep track of what invoices have been processed through our system, current status on things, what expenses you're actually hitting, and where things lie in the approval process itself. So you can easily keep track of your approvals and how long they've been sitting there. Gives you a nice top-down visibility into what's going on with your approval process, which as you probably know, in a paper-based world is kind of a black box. Once the invoice is sent out for approval, it's kind of hard to keep track of it. As soon as we capture an invoice, you're going to have complete visibility start to finish with that. So the first step in our process to get things into the system itself is called our invoice inbox. And basically what we will set up for every company that you configure is we'll set up a custom email address for you. So by default, we'll have a custom email address pre-assigned for you. You can customize that as you need. It can be whatever you want, but basically just think of it as an email inbox that you can send all of your AP invoices to, and everything that is sent into that is going to be captured. So they'll flow through this invoice inbox. You're not really going to have to do anything from this invoice inbox. This just gives you visibility into the process. So anything that's submitted here that hasn't yet processed, you'll be able to see, make sure that it's in a pending status, and then we will automatically capture the data on that invoice and automatically send it out for approval. So before I hopped on here today, I did submit an invoice to capture as a example invoice, and it was fully captured, and the output of that capture is going to be our approval process. So as we can see, the person I'm logged in as right now has one invoice to approve. I simply click that, and now I can see an overview of this invoice that is currently pending my approval. For 99% of users, or I guess maybe most users is a more accurate way to say that, this is going to be the majority of the work they do within our system. They're going to come here, review their invoices. If everything on this is enough to make your approvals, you've got quick access to the PDF attachment right here. If this is all you need, you can just rifle through this list, click approve as you need to send them on their way. If you need more detail than this for whatever reason, you can go ahead and click the View Invoice button, and this will take you to the more detailed view of an invoice that exists within our system. So beyond just being able to capture and assign it to a specific vendor, we're also only picking from valid GL codes here. So this has to be a valid GL code that we've synced from GP to be on the record of what we can pull from it. So if you need to adjust, you can, but hopefully in a short amount of time, the actual process that you're going to be doing is just reviewing, looking at this invoice, going, yep, this looks good. And then all you need to do is make your approve button, enter your notes if you need. Now that that was the only invoice that we had pending, is now my queue is now empty. I've got 0 invoices to approve. So most people, end users at this point, will just say, sweet, I'm good to go. I don't need to do anything else. So I will show you the native integration that we have in GP, so I won't spend much time on this. But the note is that if you're already using GP, the process is going to feel very familiar to you. We've nested it right into existing GP processes to not make it have any extra steps necessary for you. We built this while working with accountants to try to save people time, so we don't want to add extra work at any stage of the process. Cool. So I've flipped over into my GP environment. This does have MoverSuite installed into it as well. So our system is going to work, like I mentioned during the PowerPoint section of this. Our system is designed to work in a way that works with the GP workflow. What that means is we're going to add all those invoices into a batch for you at the time of import. So as opposed to your AP person having to sit here and key in all this invoice data, all they're going to have to do is select our option here, which is Get Fidesic Vouchers. And when they click that, they will be asked to authenticate within our system. And I'll click Login, and now I will see a list of all of the invoices that are currently fully approved. So again, in my demo world, this is just a single invoice. In reality, this will be as many invoices as you currently have approved. We have customers of ours that import several hundred invoices in a single batch. No problem on that. It's all going to be the exact same process. You just make sure that everything you have here is what you actually want to import. Click our import function, and we're going to go automatically create those invoices for you in the batch. We have worked with MoverSuite to figure out exactly how this is all connected, so you don't really have to think about this at all. You can just go ahead and import the invoice. It's going to be all good to go. We'll also have a hyperlink to the original PDF, so you'll have access to the PDF while you're in GP, and all this information has just been processed for you automatically. So the actual workflow, I just wanted to show you a bit on the back end about what we capture. Most of our clients just click that import button, 100 transactions get created in this batch, and then you're all set. You can post this just like any other batch. So I'll click post on this, and that invoice will flow through, post to the GL just like any other, and we're all set. That invoice is now posted. On the payment side, you can kind of think about everything that we just saw, run the exact same process in reverse now. So on the original process, invoices were captured on the front end, flow through an approval, and then they're put into GP. Now we're going to start the process in GP, get the necessary approvals, and then disperse those payments. So you'll still pick exactly what you want to pay in GP. Once you've picked and uploaded, you'll have a payment approval process, which is also going to be separate. In most cases, it's more simple. You just have your check signer, right, that wants to approve payments before they go out. They can now do so through our web interface as well. And we will actually disperse those payments out to your vendors on your behalf by the best available method. So if you don't have any information or ACH banking information on file for your vendors yet, that's totally fine. We can handle check fulfillment on our end. So once something's approved, we'll disperse checks out to those vendors. And most importantly, we give you a path to now start opting those vendors in for ACH payments. So when we cut and send a check out to your vendors, they're also going to have information on how they can sign up for our vendor vault. Through that vendor vault, they can enter their banking information, upload W-9, submit invoices. But once they've uploaded that banking information to our portal, they are automatically going to be opted in for an ACH payment the next time that you issue a payment against them. So self-sign up from the vendor's perspective, you don't have to change anything about your process. When a new vendor's signed up, the next time you upload a payment to us, we're going to go, oh, we have ACH info for this vendor. We should pay this via ACH. So basically, from a accounts payable perspective, all you will have to do is decide what to pay, upload it. The payment approvers will go through their process to approve those payments, and then we will take care of that payment disbursement as well as start getting those vendors signed up for ACH payments. So when I say you decide what you want to pay in GP, what I mean is if you go to your build payment batch, aka select checks, depending on what version of GP you're on, you can go through, create your batch, pick what checkbook you want to pay out of, build your batch just like you would normally. Any way that you're used to deciding what to pay in GP is totally fine. A lot of people will have questions here, and this is what we can dig into on a customized demo. There's several different ways to decide what you want to pay in GP, but I can say whatever way you're using is going to be supported as long as the end result of that is going to be a batch of what you want to pay. And then just like on the invoicing side, we've got an option that we add into your GP system, which is going to be to send those payments via Fidesic. So payment approval process is going to be very, very similar to invoice approval, like I alluded to before. Obviously, it'll be a different workflow engine, as the check signers are probably going to be fewer than the number of invoice approvers. But from our site, same idea. I'll be notified via email that I have something to review. I just go to my 3 payment approvals here, and now I can see these 3 payments that are currently pending. I can simply go through, select all these, say, yep, the totals look good, go ahead and approve selected. And just like how we had set up on the invoicing side, I can also view the detailed form of this payment. And this is going to link back to all of the original invoices that are paid. So while you're making your payment approvals, you will have the ability to go back and look at the invoices if you want to do so. We'll have hyperlinks back to the original invoice detail, or if all you really care about is the PDF, you can just click the PDF, and again, you're back on that direct PDF while you're making your payment approvals. So again, you can kind of think about this as a substitution for check signing. So that payment approver will make their approvals. We will generate checks with signatures of the actual approvers attached and issue those checks for you. So we'll print and mail those checks out. They'll still have your return address. They'll be coming from your bank account. So from your vendor's perspective and from your bank rec perspective, it's going to be exactly the same. To quickly touch on just like how those ACH payments work, we deliver a notcha file to your bank via a secure method. It's a much more secure way to pay via ACH, as there's no room for anyone to have access to the actual payment file in between the process. The file will be encrypted, whereas only the bank can unencrypt it, and we will deliver it over an encrypted FTP method, so no one can intercept that and scrape the file that way either. So it's a double encrypted file. In terms of audit and security, it's a much better method than manually generating and uploading ACH files yourself, as anyone who has access to that file potentially has access to make alterations and cause some problems for you. And then the final thing that I want to touch on is in the banking setup, beyond just ACH delivery, we do also have Positive Pay setup available within our site. So if your bank supports Positive Pay, we can automatically generate those Positive Pay files and automatically deliver them to your bank. So then you've got sort of another layer of security. It's totally been built from the ground up using the latest AI technology. And what that means is you're not going to have to set up templates. You're not going to have to tell it where to look. If you've ever used an old OCR where you have to go tell it to go look for the vendor name here, things like that. You're not going to have to do any of that with our system. Just send in your invoices. We'll start capturing and sending them out for approval. So In the case where you do need to make a modification to this, let's say that the capture didn't exactly pick the correct GL code for whatever reason, you do have the option to adjust these invoices through our interface. So if you click the adjust button, this becomes fully editable. And from there, you can change the GL code, split it over multiple GL codes, change the document number, date, terms, whatever you need to change. But just know that those changes are what drives our capture for the next time through the process. So while initially you might have to do some coding, make some modifications to these invoices, every time you do that, you can know that you're training the system to get smarter and be better over time. So that's one less thing that you'll have to worry about the next time we see a similar invoice. So, once you're a month through using the system, that's when you can start to see those 95, 99% capture. If any of this is of interest to you, we are always happy to schedule a custom demo. If you're of the email persuasion, send us an email to sales@Fidesic. We'll get that scheduled. If you like QR codes, go ahead and pull your phone out and use that QR code, and that will take you to a scheduler link where you can schedule your own custom demo. You can pick how long you want it to be. Like I said, if you want to just do a quick call to do a discovery call, great. If you want to sign up for a full hour-long demo, you can use that same link. Just pick what you want. It's great to work with EWS. They're very helpful. So they're familiar with installing our system. So from an integration standpoint, we're really looking at like 20 minutes of effort to connect this into your GP system. And from there, because we sync everything, your setup can be fast. And the other thing that I want to mention is that we do offer a free version of this system. So if you want to try it with your real world invoices before you have to commit to any sort of agreement, that's totally fine with us. When you schedule one of those custom demos, we can get into the details of it, but you can process your real world invoices in your live environment without any cost or risk. So we're always open to that. So, okay. Well, thanks everybody for attending, and I look forward to hearing you. Take care.